What's going on, guys? I want to cover Bitcoin's chart. Now, we had some bullish news yesterday from President Donald Trump on the crypto reserve. Things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Cardano are going to be in this crypto reserve. Market's absolutely pumped. We seen Bitcoin go on a rally from 79,000 all the way up to 94,000, essentially, overnight or in 24 hours. But a lot of people are very concerned right now because of the fact that Bitcoin has sold back off. We are currently trading at prices of around 85,000 at this current moment in time. Today is March the 3rd. And what I'm looking at here is I think we still have a little bit lower to go. And this yellow line that I've drawn on the chart could be what I see for this cycle. And again, depending on how long this takes, we could be looking at a week, we could be looking at a month, we could be looking at 2 months. But ultimately, I think this is what happens. And I don't really think that the market is going to continue to go higher, which means all your meme coin bag pumps are going to go up higher. Your altcoin bags are going to go up higher until this kind of situation plays out. And here's my thought process. Okay. So what we're looking at is a 4-hour time frame, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit. We're looking at a 4-hour time frame. Now, the pump that we had, essentially coming from, let's call it 80,000 into low 90s. That pump that we had created a lower high. Okay, so that lower high you can see here, and the lines that you see on my chart are a Fibonacci, and I'm going to show you on a daily chart where I got that from. But you can see this Fibonacci level here. This was acting as resistance. Okay, so resistance here, 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 here. We kind of came back down to this support level, couldn't hold it, came back down to this support level, and then we bounced. So that, in a sense, is bullish that we're actually holding a support level that is technically can be marked up on the chart. Okay. Next thing, this push that we had higher here, right? Let me get my drawing tool back out. This push that we had higher here broke through this resistance level, but fell short of reclaiming 97,000. I think that once we reclaim 97,000 and we back test it and hold 95, 96, 97,000, you're going to see that push back up over 100,000, and the next price target would be somewhere around 110 to 112, okay, if not 120, before I see us pull back and then we kind of hold that level and go. So with that being said, on this 4-hour time frame, what we're kind of looking at here is we are definitely looking at a candlestick that is printing on the 4-hour time frame that is bearish for the short term. It's an inverse hammer candle. I mean, I'm trying to blow it up as much as possible. It's an inverse hammer candle. We've lost this Fibonacci retracement support, and it looks like we want to come back down and start testing 79,000. So how fast that depends on happening is going to depend on where this 4-hour candle closes. If we do close red and we close below the previous 4-hour candle, I would say that we're coming back down towards 79,000. Now, if we come back down towards 79,000, there could be a quick sweep of this area into 78, and you can see another little bit of a dead cat bounce back up into 80 to 83,000. And ultimately, I think we need to get into this GP range. So we need to get into this golden pocket. And honestly, guys, that can take us all the way down to 70K, if not mid 60s. Here's why I think that that's where the market in the run is going to really start. If you think about all of the big whales, all of the institutions, all of the states and the countries and everyone else who is dollar cost averaging in, all these big players that are getting into the crypto markets now in the most bullish time for crypto markets, as more adoption is coming to light and it's coming to the masses, they weren't in on all of these low prices. Like the last cycle, that push up into 69,000, that push up into 68,000, they weren't really in fully at those times. So if we are going to go to 125, 135, 150, 175K a Bitcoin, wouldn't you want your 2, 3, 4x on Bitcoin to be had from 65 to 75K and not from 100K? Think about it. You're only going to almost, 0.5 or 1x your money from 100,000, but you're going to look to 2 or 3x your money from 65 to 75K, right? So again, if you're a major player, I don't want to buy Bitcoin at 100,000. I want to buy it where everyone else got such an amazing deal at $60,000 to $70,000 range. So the reason I'm looking at that is because if I go to a daily time frame, right, where each candlestick is going to represent 1 day's work, and I really zoom out here a little bit, and we kind of look at this move. Look at this move here, right? Now I think this is going to be a little bit, that's a little bit stretched out. I've got to make my chart right. Look at this move here. If you kind of look at what we're doing here, we have this rolling top where you can kind of see us come down here, see us a little bounce, get rejected, and then we hit this GP. Maybe we give a dead cat rally here, and then we kind of wash out. If I was to zoom to the left, right, and just now ignore the lines, and I'll draw some more. But if we kind of did that move, look where that would be taking us back to, right? So let's now draw that situation. So we kind of come down here to that 79,000. We put in a dead cat bounce into 80 to 83,000. And then we really start to wash out into that golden pocket range. That takes us back all the way here to where the run started. And that gives every single major player who wants to be involved into this run an opportunity to be involved in this run. And that necessarily, this is what it would look like. I'm just kind of drawing this out, and this is what it would look like, you know, something like that. And then we would have that big blow off top. So in that particular situation, we are still in bullish context, right? We're still in bullish context, but we need to get down. Like, we've got to get down there. And the faster we get down there, I think the better for everyone. So short term wise, yeah, when we're slowly grinding, you know, 86K, 85K, 88K, we're slowly grinding, it feels like pain and agony and suffering. We need to get down there fast, right? So if that requires you to just stop looking at your portfolio and maybe check it once a week instead of checking it once an hour, that'll probably suit your mind a little bit better. You'll see the sentiment on social media. I know 90% of you, 99% of you guys are on social media each and every single day, reading articles, reading Twitter, reading, you know, Facebook, reading Reddit. You guys will feel the sentiment, and you'll know, as long as you've got your positions in, you'll know that once we're trading back up here towards the all-time highs, and once we're breaking 100K again, you'll know that because it's going to be on social media. You don't need to check your portfolio every 2 minutes to tell you that. But that's the only thing that I can think of here. Now, again, we are at an area up at the top here, right? Like if I take this double top, that double top here is kind of matching up with this fib here that we've kind of bounced at. So this is acting as a strong area of support. Now, we've swept below that area once. If we do come down and sweep it again and then have another quick kind of outburst, yeah, we can definitely hold from there. And that price would be getting down into a range of at least 70, I would call it honestly between 72,000 and 78. If we get in 78 to 72,000, we could see the bounce come from there, the bounce that we all want to see, right? Which is going to be something like this, where we, boom, now we've put in that higher low, and now these pullbacks are just going higher versus going lower, okay? And I think that could definitely be a situation. Probably the better situation would be to be something like this, to be honest. And again, I know this pains everyone to see, but that would probably be the better situation. Just because for me, it looks more uniformed. It looks more like this is the liquidity that they want to grab, is in here, okay? They want to grab that liquidity, okay? Because you have to imagine everyone who is long in this area and has been holding through this run, you're still in the green, right? You're still profitable. Now, where do you become unprofitable is when we start to dip down in this range. And where do you start to get liquidated? And where do you start to feel max emotional pain? When you're not only break even, but when you're red and they're dragging it out for a week and you're constantly looking at it just slowly bleed. And then it gets to a point where you just can't take it and you say, you know what, I'm out. And you get a big influx of people that are all out at once, and you do a very quick snap, and then boom, that's it. You get a very aggressive rally, and then you get a higher low that gets set in, and you never see those prices again. Okay. That's what happens almost every time. And that to me looks more uniformed than just kind of staying right here where we're at and shooting up from here. Now, it can happen, but if it does, I would think that they would need to churn and burn people for a lot longer right here to get that emotional threshold pain, right? They would need to churn people maybe, well into March, well into May, and probably, coming out of May or the end of May, then you could see some run. But this month to a month and a half, which it would be at this point in time, about 2 months now, it would just drive you through the ringer. Like, you would be absolutely destroyed. And that's how they can get people out and then kind of, hold that price there at these previous levels and then start the rally. But for me, I think that the bigger shock and awe is to just, okay, that dead cat bounce there that got everyone pumped on Trump's announcement, kind of got a bunch of people to get back in long. And what do? They slowly grind you down. Now you're getting liquidated. Now you're feeling pain. And now you're starting to tell yourself, well, if we really start to lose, I don't think there's going to be a bull market this year. I've got to get out of my position before everything goes to zero. And then they'll do one of these quick actions on you, right? They'll do that quick action. And again, that move could be looking at coming out of April or in April, May, where that happens. And then now we're just absolutely exploding. So maybe you're going to have to sit patient through March, give it some time. My timeline for this, actual rally to start where we stop kind of grinding lower was honestly in the middle to end of March anyway. So that would put us like this, right? Where's March, April would be here and May is here. That would put us in this situation anyways to be coming up. So again, that's what I can see happening. I think you need to just stay patient, just continue to post the good vibes. I am still very bullish. This bull run and this bull season is not over by any means. They are squeezing every last ounce out of you before they absolutely turn this market around. I mean, you guys seen, right? You guys seen this one day push was extravagant. Like, it doesn't take much for Bitcoin to move up 5,000, 10,000, 12,000 in a day. And if you're doing that, and you're on a serious bull run, well, guess what? You pulled back 8% today. Another, let's call it $8,000 to $10,000 push up takes us well into this range here. Whoops, that's a little too much. Takes us well into this range back here at this resistance. Then you pull back maybe 30% of that move, and then another $8,000 to $10,000 move puts us like that, and you kind of pull back a little bit more, and then you kind of break that 100,000 again and go all the way up to like 110, and then you kind of maybe consolidate for a couple days, and everyone thinks that's the top, and then everyone gets shaken out, and you do another $10,000 to $12,000 there. It can happen very fast, but it's all dependent on how fast we get down into that zone. Like, this is me, and this is the way I've always been. I'm kind of just like, okay, just whatever you want to do, just do it. Because I want you to notice something. Look at the volume. Look at the volume on the push higher. Okay. Look at the volume on the push higher. Look at the volume on the sell-off that we're having today. There's like little to no volume there. It's like, it's non-existent. Okay. It's non-existent. So it could be, just a little bit of a trap here where they kind of shake you out. That was the low right there. And then we start to push higher from there. It's just, for me, I would just rather let's just do the dirty work. Let's just do the dirty work so we enjoy 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months of just straight green, right? Let's just do the dirty work. Let's come down here, back test, give me another dead cat bounce, shake everyone out once more, and then do one of these quick action snaps. Boom. That's it. Let's go. Like, that's what I would like to see, and I would like to see it happen fast. Hopefully in the month of March. Either we get down there into below 70K for a brief moment in time, and then we rip back up and never see it again. Or the other possibility is that they're just going to slowly retail rinse you, right? That's what it's called. It's just a slow retail rinse of consolidation that just drives people through absolute hell and forces them out of their positions in that range. And it just kind of stays at this price between, let's call it 75,000 and 85,000, 75,000 and 90,000. It does absolutely shit for everything across the board. And then it starts to break out nice and easy and nice and slow. I don't prefer that way, because that way takes a lot longer. Me, I'm very impatient. Whip us down here quickly and get our asses back up. Let's go. So that's what I think the better thing can do. Also, what I just drew out there was an inverse head and shoulders, right? So again, where we're at from here, if this is shoulder number 1, what we would be looking for here is the head and then the dead cat bounce, and then shoulder number 2, and then we would be looking for that. So shoulder, head, shoulders, and that could be taking us into the middle or end of March. Look at my timeline, March into April. That could be taking us from the middle to end of March into April is when we really start to push up higher. That was, again, if you go back and watch some of my videos on the cryptos, on my crypto playlist, you will see I was not expecting this run to start, like really start, until the middle end of March, going into April with a nice all-time high in May, right? So again, we're still on that timeline. It's like, just let's hurry up and get there though. And I think in order for us to get there, we've got to touch 70K. It's just, you know, it's not the end of the world if we do it. Hopefully it's fast enough to where we can just, you know, maybe we're sleeping and then we just do some bullshit like this, and then here we go, right? But I would like to see that inverse head and shoulders, with this being the start of our shoulder 1, and then getting down here into our shoulder 2, and then our head, and then our shoulder 2, and then now we can start to rip, right? Again, be patient, guys. Continue to bull post. This run is not over yet. Do not get shaken out of your positions, because you will regret it later, guys. You will regret it later. And again, just kind of going back on there, why do I think we need to get down there? Again, it's not because I'm bearish. I'm very, very bullish, but I want to test this fucking price action in this area. I need to test that. So I want them to get it down there, and I want them to get it snapped back up higher. So for all of the whales and all of the banks and the institutions and the brokerages and, you know, every big major player in crypto, you're crying about you didn't have a good opportunity to get it. Okay, take the fucking market down here, get your ass in, and let's start this actual rally. Again, excuse the language, but let's go, guys. Thumbs up on the video. I'll see all of you guys in the next one.